Today, I'm going to show you how to unlock the golden Mr. Beast umbrella. Only 100,000 players will be rewarded this umbrella, and it's based on your performance in the Mr. Beast Extreme Survival. One person watching this might be the person who gets first place and gets $1 million.
This is the craziest
Mr.
Fortnite tournament
Beast!
ever. Best score when the tournament ends wins $1 million and bragging rights for life.
So this map is all about score, and if you want to unlock the umbrella, you need to get a high score. So right in the beginning, we're on this platform, and there's like some explosives that are coming in, and it starts off very easy, so I wouldn't worry too much. But you need to keep your eyes peeled on the middle of the screen because it's basically telling you what's going to happen. Now, the way to add to your score is to stay alive. If your HP runs out and you go to 0, that's when your match is going to end. So you need to avoid obstacles, avoid taking damage for as long as possible, and you need to be looking around for the coins. There are bronze coins that are worth 250, silver coins that are worth 500, huge gold coins that are worth 1,000. I'm pretty certain that around 85 to 90,000 is going to be the sweet spot to unlock the umbrella this Saturday. Follow along and look at the score to see how we're doing and try to mimic this and even improve on it in your own practice. And you'll notice that Mr. Beast says slide crouch, Mr. Beast says emote. These are prompts that you're going to need to do. So my tip is to bind your emote to a single button. And my tip is to use an emoticon because the emoticon, as you can see, allows you to move and is a very quick transition from doing the emote to going back to moving around. And that's going to be important, especially in the later stages, because there's going to be things flying at you and you don't want to get caught doing an emote and then getting knocked. It's basically a survival map with 7 different survival challenges. And in between each challenge, you're also just basically surviving on the middle of a platform while things are moving at you. But let's go into this first mini game. So once the mini games start, they're actually random. You can randomly get one of the 7 mini games and then you go through all of them. So getting this tile one, if you remember, this is kind of similar to Fall Guys. This is actually the worst one to get early in the match because there's still so many people alive. They basically break down all the tiles. Now we're back on this platform, as you can see, and now there's even more things. There's these red walls that are moving at you. There's these bouncers. But like I said, this is not even the hard part. It's still very basic. Now, here's my #1 tip for red light, green light to help you win. As soon as you start, actually, before you even go into the red light, green light, start sprinting, because while the screen's all white, you can still sprint, and it takes 3 sprints to make it to the end. So if you're the first person sprinting across, everyone's still trying to figure out what's going on, you can get first place. And as you can see, there's a 1,500 point bonus for finishing first place in red light, green light. Now there's this stage right here where it says stay in the circle. Pretty much get in, because if you're not in the circle, you start taking damage. You start taking storm damage. And as you can see, my health is still at 975. I'm doing a good job keeping my health up. But if you get tagged a couple times early on, like I do right here, don't stress too much. There are 2 ways you can gain health back in this mode. There's a health pack that spawns. It's a green heart. You have to be near it once it's opened. Anyone in your match can open it. And then at the same time, there's a moment where it says jump in the water quickly to gain HP. You can do that to gain some health back, but you got to do it quickly, because if you jump in the water when it doesn't say that, you will take damage. And if you don't emote when Mr. Beast says emote, you will take damage. But if you're wondering if your emote or slide counted, you'll see your character highlighted with a different color. And honestly, it's pretty forgiving. As long as you do it once it says, or even a few seconds after, you should be good. But now here is the health pack I was talking about. And usually I let people open the health pack for me so I can keep my eyes peeled for a coin right there. I just missed out on a 1,000 coin, which is not good to miss out on. Now, this stage is very interesting. This one's actually not too difficult. You cannot die in this stage or take damage. You pretty much want to run around. At a certain point, they start throwing shockwaves at you to throw you off, and snowball launchers, which are really bad because it makes it hard to run towards the coins. But pretty much just run, get as many coins as possible. When you get shot out, use your grappler to get back in. Overall, this map, like, there's a lot of points to gain, but at the end of the day, this is not going to make or break you. Just get as many coins as you can. If you miss a couple here or there, it's not going to be the end of the day. Remember, we're shooting for 85,000 points or more. If I had to guess, the top 100,000 is going to be around the 85 to 90K point range. And if you're wondering what first place is going to need to get, my guess is it's going to be around 120,000 to 130,000. I'll explain why there is a cap to how many points you can get. Now we have these moving pinball bumpers. These will catch you off guard because they come from both sides. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be dead center in the middle unless the circle is spawned, because when you're in the middle, you can actually get hit with both of them. And you'll notice what I'm doing here, the pinball launchers, They can come from both sides, but once you see which side it's coming from, you know it's coming from that side. You can kind of keep your eye on it. So I'll do a lot of 180s to see where it's coming from. Now I know it's coming from the left side. I'm chilling. In the middle, they kind of cross over each other. So it's very easy to get hit with both of them. You don't want that to happen. So you definitely want to be making 180s constantly, not just to avoid the pinball launchers, but also find coins, because there's still coins that are 250, 500, 1,000, and those coins will add up. Don't get struck by lightning. That's pretty self-explanatory. You survive. Every time you survive a little challenge, you do get some points. Once Mr. Beast starts talking, don't drop what you're doing. Sometimes there's still coins that kind of spawn in late, and you have time to grab those coins while he's talking. So this dropper one, I had an unlucky spawn. As you can see, where I spawned was a bad spawn, and then the second spawn was also bad. But once I got here, I noticed that this is just a very open drop. There is a little bit of luck involved. As you can see, I got third place, so I got 500 points, but second would have got me 1,000, and first would have got me 1,500. That's an extra 1,000 points that I could have had. Now I'm still first place in this lobby, but that's, you know, that extra 1,000 points is going to mean something, especially as you go 17, 18, 19 minutes into the game. So now we're back, and as you can see, there are walls that are flying at you, and the bumpers are coming at you. And right here, I'm just constantly turning around, looking for the bumpers. I'm more afraid of the bumpers than the walls. And let me explain why. If you get hit with the bumper, you're most likely going to also get hit with a wall. The wall will pass through you, but the bumper will launch you up into the air, making you lose control of your movement. So the bumpers are your biggest enemy. And now the maze mini game. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do too well on this run, but my tip for the maze mini game, there's a few dead ends, but for the most part, if you jump up and down, you want to look for the arches. There's arches that are entrances to the center. And actually, I could see it right there, but I got baited into that little corner. If I went the other way, I would have been the first person to finish this maze. As long as you know, finishing your top 3, you're not leaving too many points on the table. If you want to know how far you are on this stage, like when you're in this area, you see the lights over across near the main screen. It actually shows how many stages there are. Floor's Lava is honestly one of the easiest ones. The mantling is very forgiving, and you have time to collect coins. So both the other guys on my team, they end up getting eliminated. I don't know why. As you can see, you can make those high jumps, grab the coins. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm basically looking for coins at this point. I see where the lava is. I see another coin. I can grab that, because the goal is to survive. If you survive, you get the 2,500 points for surviving, and all the coins that you get as well. At the very top, there's a silver coin. 2 bronze coins is equivalent to 1 silver, so it's better to get like 3 or 4 bronze. If you don't have to get the silver, that's fine. Careful. Oh, are you kidding me, bro? Now right here, I started messing up. I was trolling a little bit. Both of them got eliminated. That means their health went from 1,000 to 0. They were done. As you can see, I still have 875 health, but I'm getting a little bit flustered. Do not tilt. You need to just maintain your composure. I'm moving back and forth, looking for coins. It gets pretty challenging. And honestly, I took like 400 damage in this stage. This is basically the same stage that I just went through before the last mini game, and I didn't take any damage on that previous stage. So you can definitely have a better run than what I'm showing you right here. But if you do a run like this, I think you will be in the top 100,000. This is the briefcase one. This one's tough. You have 40 seconds. This is a stage that you're better off getting earlier when there's more people, because usually everyone will congregate around the briefcase, and you can kind of tell where people are running, and then you see them and they stop. That means they found the briefcase. Right now, I had it. I was alone, right? There was no briefcase. Sometimes it can spawn on the boat. Sometimes it's in a bush. These are the spawns for the briefcase. There's only a set amount, so you can probably do a full lap in about 30 seconds. So you're not running around looking aimlessly. There's also some coins. So if you know for sure you're not getting the briefcase, you might as well grab a coin. I missed out on 2,500 right here. And I think I would have gotten more points for being the first person to get the briefcase, because I was the only person left. So now we're done. All the challenges are complete. Now we're basically in the overtime, and there's 2 stages to the overtime. It starts getting crazy. You start getting the walls, and then at a certain point, Mr. Beast does the emote stuff, and then the bumpers make a return, and then everything starts happening pretty quickly all at once. The reason why you can't get like a super high score, like you can't score 200,000 points, in my opinion. That's not possible. And that's because at a certain point during overtime, you do start taking storm damage, and that will eventually chip you down all the way to 0. Honestly, it's my first time making it to this stage. I panicked a little bit when I started getting hit. I thought I was taking damage. And then also the X's, for some reason, stayed on the center. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The hexagons will disappear. I'm moving. There's these walls that start coming up. You can jump over those. As you can see, I'm taking 10 damage per second. Eventually, I'm not gonna have any health to stay alive. Outer hexagons will disappear. So it said outer, but the center ones also had an X on them. I think that's just a visual bug. I got too confused when I saw the X on the center ones. Still, this is a pretty decent run. As you can see, though, there was still room for 10, 15, maybe even 20,000 more points to potentially get. All right, guys, I personally think around 85 to 90,000 is going to be the sweet spot to get to the 100,000. Best of luck this Saturday.